Hello, hockey fans, and welcome to the first edition of Into the Wilderness, a special show dedicated to the Minnesota Wilderness hockey team. Tonight, we are going to have a rundown of recent competition from the team, recent community events, also talk to the coach, Corey Millen, and also a special player guest, Alex Toscano, is here. And we'll conclude the show with a preview of what is coming up for the team this weekend and in the coming weeks. Joining me here is the assistant general manager of the squad, putting the general in assistant general manager, Josh Petrich.
Yeah, I try to.
I know, you do a good job of it.
Thank you for having me, Marty.
Thanks for coming, and thanks to the crowd that's here at Carmen's and Cloquet joining us for this. Good food, good drinks, and we're going to talk about good hockey here tonight as well. The team is coming off, when they resume action this weekend, they'll be coming off an 8-day break, and the big news is that they'll still be in first place. Over the weekend, their closest competitor, the Fairbanks Ice Dogs, played 3 games and needed to win all 3 to take first place back in the Midwest Division, but they only got 2 wins out of that set. So the Wilderness still sit in first place in the division by 1 point over the Ice Dogs. Wilderness' last game was a week ago today. They scored a 3-2 victory over the Austin Bruins in a shootout. It was their 8th win in the last 9 games, their 5th straight win on the road. And it marked a milestone for the coaching career of head coach Corey Millen. He notched his 100th career coaching victory. Tyler Klein led the way with a goal and an assist in the game. Michael Kovac also got a goal. In the shootout, the Wilderness had goals from Darian Romenko and Dan Litchke before the ultimate deciding round, the 6th round, where Aaron Miller ended up getting a goal. And then Ryan Anderson closed it out with a save on an attempt by Luke Deitch, and that closed out the victory. There were 2 newcomers in that game. Ian Mansfield from Colorado played his first game. He was acquired in a trade with Odessa. And also Kyle Jones from Duluth was acquired in a trade from the NA3HL's Granite City. He also played his first game. That game also marked the first game out of the lineup for our special guest here, Alex Toscano, as he's out 4 to 8 weeks with a broken hand. Still waiting for the return of Jack Forbert and Bradley Johnson and Brock Kautz in the lineup as well.
Yeah, absolutely. Those guys are getting close, but still a couple weeks away. Alex being out is a big loss for us, but we were lucky that we got Ian and Kyle in here.
Right.
To fill some holes. Ian's a great kid, Army commit. He's a good character kid, skates well. He's a big body up and down the wing, and Kyle's a local product that went to Tier 3 and was playing well, and we needed to fill a D spot as well.
So we also want to issue congratulations to Tyler Klein for his performance last Wednesday, being granted the Midwest Division 2nd Star of the Week. Also honorable mentions given to Darian Romenko, Ryan Anderson, and Ivan Chukrov for the Player of the Month honors.
Player of the Month, yeah, absolutely. So it's good. We talk about it all the time. When you keep winning and stuff like that, you get honors, and so it's a big thing for our organization to continually be recognized over and over, week in and week out.
And you are up to date on what this team has been doing in the community. Can you tell us what's been going on there?
Yeah, obviously since last time we've been at home, we had, the last home game was USG Community Night. First ever sellout. Was a really big deal. This week is Washington Week. We always like getting in the schools, and so we spent extra time. Timber made an appearance at Washington Elementary, so it was a lot of fun, and it's a good thing. Our boys really like to get out and give back and be a part of the community, and so it's a fun week to have a little extra time there. And they did a lot of cool decorations around Washington for us, wilderness themed, and so it's been a lot of fun.
So a little bit of time without any game pressure, I guess, in that time to be able to relax and be part of the community.
Yeah, last weekend was big for us mentally. I think everyone in the organization, coaching staff, management, and players took last weekend as kind of a welcome break to right before the playoff push.
All right. So we are going to also give you a trivia question, and we're going to open this up to our audience on Cat 7 and also our YouTube audience. This is a trivia question that you can answer through social media, through the Facebook page at Minnesota Wilderness NAHL.
Yeah.
And the Twitter page at it is at MN Wilderness.
Yeah.
Through Twitter. And trivia question is, And the first one to answer this gets what? You can tell us. What that
4
would be.
free tickets to any game of their choice.
Okay. So the question is, which Wilderness player is the only one to register a hat trick this season? And when you answer that question, put in the hashtag. It'll help us put in the hashtag into the Wilderness. So through those social media avenues, first one to answer gets the prize that Josh just mentioned.
Yeah, and a lot of things, it helps us. Our social media is a big way to connect with the fans. So definitely give us a like, give us a follow, and see what we're doing in the community and how we're being involved every day. We kind of update it and let people know what's going on.
Okay. We're going to take a break, and we'll get the coach in here. Welcome back to Into the Wilderness, the show focused on the Minnesota Wilderness North American Hockey League team. And we're joined by the head coach, Corey Millen. Thanks for joining us.
Hey, my pleasure.
Congrats on the 100th victory. I know you were just itching to talk about that all season long.
Oh, I mean, yeah. It's an honor, but to be honest, yeah, I didn't have any idea that I was inching there. So, yeah, I guess it's nice, but hopefully you have a lot more.
I kid everybody when I say that you were about that. So, but I do want to talk about this season basically because it seems like it started off right away. You did not have your top goalie the very first game of the season, Brock Couts, and it kind of, who knew that it would kind of set a tone for things. Have you had a full lineup at all this season?
That would be there'd be a good trivia question because I don't know the answer to that. I'm not sure that we've had a full healthy lineup available to us at all this year. So been one of the more unique years, or probably the most trying year as a coaching perspective, trying to get healthy bodies in a lineup. So it's been tough, especially on the D core. So we've had to do a lot of juggling and kind of do some patchwork, but things have gone pretty well so far. I mean, I guess we can't complain. We're still in first place at this point.
What is the status right now of Jack Forbert, Brock Couts, and Bradley Johnson?
Well, I mean, I think we're looking at about 8 weeks with Forbert. He's been out. I think he's now skating, and he should be getting closer. I mean, I know he was hoping to play this weekend, but I don't think that's going to happen. I mean, I'm thinking next weekend is something a target area for him. Brock, on the other hand, he's getting better, but he's been now 11 weeks this weekend, which is incredible. But he's got a tough injury for a goaltender. We're thinking maybe 3 weeks if we're lucky for him playing. And Bradley Johnson, I know that there was some speculation he might play this weekend, but I think we'll probably play it pretty cautious and maybe try to hold him out another weekend. So I guess we'll see. We'll go from there.
And you talk about that patchwork. You added a couple new guys last weekend. Saw a lot of Ian Mansfield, not a whole lot of Kyle Jones. But how did they work out last week in the game?
Well, I mean, I think that Ian's a 20-year-old. He's committed to Army, so he has a little more experience in the league, and so I think we look for him to hopefully be kind of an immediate impact on our lineup. He brings speed, and he's a big body, and hopefully some experience and leadership. Kyle Jones, on the other hand, doesn't have a lot of experience at this level, so we're probably going to keep him a little bit, keep a closer eye on him, and kind of place him in a spot where we think he can succeed and see how it goes from there. I'd like to think that we'd like to see these guys get a little more time in practice with us before we jump into, especially on the defensive, the backside, the defensemen. It's a little tougher deal just jumping in on our systems and being effective. So we try to take a little bit of patience there.
I know you've had to work some guys in quite a bit. We saw Austin Redders a few times. Did he even get any practice time with you when he came up to play?
He unfortunately didn't get a lot of practice time. So he was put in, and we did have the opportunity to use him at some points because I think we had a couple leads where we felt comfortable to get him some ice time, but again, it's one of those things that every bit of experience for these guys is great because we might need to lean on them down the road. But so we played 4 defensemen, we played 3 defensemen, we played 5 defensemen. So it's been tough. We've had to lean on a lot of guys for a lot of minutes. So hopefully we get healthy and we get back getting 6 guys in there on the back end.
This break that you're on right now, kind of nice timing for it, or is it a momentum killer? Do you see it?
Oh, well, I don't know. I mean, it's tough to say that. I thought we were playing extremely well going into Christmas, and then we got a week off for Christmas, and we came back and we didn't play very well against Bismarck at our first 2 home games. Lost those 2 games. So, you think you lose momentum there. From a health perspective, always time is obviously on your side. But from organization, being together, playing cohesive, too much time isn't always great. But I think as far as health is concerned and for the playoff push, it's nice to get a little rest.
And it is going to heat up here now. You've got quite a, and we'll touch on that as we go along here. But it seemed like in that game, you had guys like Janis Jaks who looked like he was on fire, especially after he had to be pulled off the ice. Just to give folks an update here, he took a hit. There was a contact to the head situation. He had to be taken off the ice, but then it seemed like he just played like crazy. And we saw Waylon Williams on a breakaway, almost scored in the overtime. Darian Romenko came back after a cut. So it looked like you guys really gave an all-out effort in that game.
We did. I mean, again, I think our effort was a little inconsistent. I thought we played pretty solid in the first. I thought we had a little bit of a lapse after they scored their goal to tie it up, and they really came at us, and we got on our heels. But then in the third, we regrouped, and I thought we played a real solid third period and kind of took it to them, and we got the 2 points, which was important.
Is it you want your teams, of course, to be able to be strong from first whistle to the end of the game. Take pride in the fact that you have a team that has played so well in the third period lately?
I mean, obviously that's big. I think that we've had to respond, and we've talked about responding all year long. And I think, we've had to respond, and we've done it productively quite a bit here. We've given up some leads, and then we talk about how we were going to respond to that. And I think for the most part, we've seen some good action, and some of the guys have responded the right way. So that's a good thing for right now.
You get a win on a shootout for the first time this year. First of all, thoughts on that?
Well, I mean, looking even back to last year, we struggled anytime we got into a shootout. So, it's carried over to this year. So we prefer not to get there.
Right.
And it's nice. I think it's almost a joke, but it is nice to get a little confidence in that scenario at least. But we prefer not to get there.
Sure. Thoughts, Josh?
It's not for a lack of goaltending.
Well, that could be. I mean, I'd like to think, we probably need to work on some scoring there, but I don't know.
Well, my thought was when that overtime was going on, I didn't want that overtime to end. If they could have continued that, or at least gone to a 3-on-3, I know that there's talk about them doing that on the professional level. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, well, I mean, I think that anytime you go to a shootout, it's just a crapshoot. You're rolling the dice no matter what. So you can never predict who's going to win there. So I mean, from a pure standpoint, I would like to, skating and see who scores the goal would be better from my perspective. But the shootout is exciting, and I think it does bring an element to the game.
Sure.
I think the 3-on-3 is kind of a crapshoot too. I mean, I've seen it at levels, and it's whoever gets the first odd man rush is going to win a game.
Yeah. Well, I know that even on the professional level, I heard Matthew Schneider, NHLPA, they are throwing some doubts into it because they think that it's going to overwork the top players on the team.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot of that. Again, it's just extra time, and I think the shootout right now, if you want someone to get the points, it's probably the most exciting, productive way to get that game done and finish. So
right, that's good for the fans too, and I'm sure that when you got guys on the team that they like to be able to show off some skills.
Sure.
Saw you at the Duluth East game the other night, and I wanted to just throw out this question because they apply a different kind of an offensive zone attack style with that center high on the blue line. What are your thoughts on that, and is that something that you think that you would ever try?
Well, it was an interesting look, and I think part of it is just kind of the uniqueness of it, and teams not really having ever seen it before, or not really knowing how to respond. Personally, I probably wouldn't go to it. There's a couple things. They have their thoughts and their ideas. What they were relying on, they're relying on 2 forecheckers to basically go and do whatever they can, and then put 3 guys across the top of the blue line. I think it would be pretty easy to defend. It would be hard to generate, I think, but especially if you could get organized in it. But it's unique and it's interesting, and they got some things out of it. I would think maybe I would be more apt to consider something like that as if I was playing a really dynamic offensive team where I wanted to be a little bit stronger on the backside and play a little more conservative situation.
It seems like, just as a casual observer, that it would be something where it'd be difficult to get, when you want to crash the net, it could cause some difficulties.
Yeah, I mean you're relying on two guys to basically outplay five guys, or 4 or 5 guys down there. So like I said, it's a unique look. So once it did get back to the blue line, I did think it causes some issues for the Cloquet team, but I don't know. I just don't know that I would consider using it. But like I said, they did generate some chances. They did only score 1 goal though.
It was, yeah.
And I think, in junior hockey, every game on fast hockey, every video work, the way it's done. High school hockey, it's really not done that way. There's no video share or anything like that. It's you can quickly throw a wrench into someone's system. Big rivalry game in Cloquet, they're on the road. Kind of Cloquet walks out and goes, "Oh, what happened?" Where in junior hockey, I think you're a little more prepared week to week, and you have a little more insight of what your opponent's going to come in and do systematically.
Sure. Is that something that you have seen anywhere else before?
Not really, not like that. I've seen in Europe, there was a team in Switzerland when I played in Switzerland, the DeVos team. They were really known for a kind of a strange forecheck from the outside coming in, and then having a high guy, but their D would pinch and the center would then fill. You know what I mean? From that perspective, so it would be a similar scenario, but they're a little more active, I think, on the pinching and stuff.
And it seems like maybe on an international ice surface that would be more effective.
Right, a bigger surface, and Cloquet is a pretty big surface, but yes, but you're using you're pinching the rails and stuff. So, yeah, that was a unique one of the unique teams. I think that's the closest thing I've seen to that type of scenario.
Okay, and final question: you after reaching 100 victories, what have you learned? What is it that the biggest thing that you've learned so far about the game, about coaching, and about players at this level?
Well, I mean, it's a good question. I think you're always learning. That's one thing I've learned is you're always learning. And every year is a new year. I think the best thing is that these kids are for the most part, are eager to learn. They're eager to get better, and it's a great age group to coach. I do think today's a different day and age, so from that perspective, I've got to learn. I got to learn how to deal with these kids these days. But I've enjoyed it, and it's you're always learning.
Yeah. Every level, I'm sure.
For sure.
Provides a different perspective, no matter what it is that you're doing.
Sure.
Okay. Appreciate the time, Coach. Thanks for joining us. Thank you. Congratulations again. We'll be back in a few moments. We'll have Alex Toscano. You're watching Into the Wilderness from Carmen's in Cloquet. And we're back on Into the Wilderness from Carmen's in Cloquet, and we're joined by Alex Toscano, forward for the Wilderness from Duluth. Thanks for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Pleasure to be here.
Glad you're here. And first of all, if you can show everybody your war wound here.
Yeah.
Can I sign it?
No.
Well, at least you got it green. You got it team colors there.
Yeah, tried to theme it up a little bit.
All right. You getting autographs on that yet? Or?
No, not gonna let that happen.
No one's worthy.
No,
Girls' phone numbers in town, maybe.
possibly.
So we see how, I guess, what's the status? I guess obviously you're not going to play for a while, but what have you been told as far as the doctors and your?
I got a rod put through the bone that broke, and they told me I get that taken out after 6 weeks. And then as soon as that's out, I can start to try and play. But until that, I'm not really supposed to be doing much with the hand. But we'll see about that.
Okay. Well, we appreciate the help that you're giving us here when we're getting the set range. We appreciate the extra effort you were doing there. The yeoman's work. Not something that you have to do, but we appreciate it. First, I wanted to ask you, what happened in that situation? Tucker DeYoung was your opponent. Tell us how that all came about.
We were sitting there and we were waiting for the ice to dry before the period, so we had a few minutes to talk and chat. And he said he was looking to fight someone on the team, and I told him I was probably going to be the guy if he wants us to go. And he said, "Sounds good. Let's go when the puck drops." And so we decided to wait a little bit so we didn't get suspended, and it just happened.
It just went. Well, was the size of the crowd, did that have anything to do with it?
Absolutely.
It did.
Yeah. Full house like that.
Right.
Yeah.
How does it rank up there in your other tussles that you've had in your life?
I'd put it in the top 3.
Really?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
Well, you had, it seemed like it was fairly even there going, and then it looked like at the end, I think it went in your favor. It looked like toward the end.
I don't know. I'd say it was pretty even. We were both just throwing big haymakers, not a whole lot of defense being played.
Well, we could talk about that. I mean, you talk about defense. Do you have a certain strategy when you're starting to pound somebody?
Some guys do. I don't really. I just go in there and throw, and hopefully I come out on top, and if not, oh well. But yeah, some guys try to grab your shoulders and lock up your arms and whatnot, use their elbow to hide their face, but I don't have much of a strategy. Probably would work better if I did, but
We'll find a guy to teach you.
yeah, that would probably help.
Is there anybody around town? It's Cloquet. It's a good hockey town. There might be somebody.
There's got to be someone we could find.
Yeah,
Duluth probably.
there's some guys
Duluth,
in Duluth,
Cloquet,
yeah.
the area. We could probably find somebody. Maybe Coach Millen. He's probably
Yeah.
been in one or two in his life.
Yeah, right.
We'll see if we can find some archive video of that. Maybe throw that into the broadcast. So then you guys got in the penalty box. I noticed some more discussion going on there. Usually when that happens, it's not very friendly, but it looked like it might have been in your case.
Yeah, it was pretty friendly. We were just telling each other nice fight and whatnot, and talking about the ones we got and the punches we didn't get. And no, there wasn't too much bad blood in that one.
Sure. Do you did you hit his helmet when is that how you broke his hand?
Yeah, I
Broke your
think
hand?
so. I think it was the one I caught his helmet pretty hard on one of my first punches, and I didn't feel it during the fight, but right when it happened, I looked down and my knuckle was gone, and I just pretty much knew it wasn't going to be good.
So you knew you were out of the game, I guess, at that point.
Yeah, pretty much.
How did Mom feel about it?
She was devastated. She hates it. So
Was she
I
at the game? Did
apologize.
she see it?
Yeah, she was there, and Grandma and my aunt were in town, so it was a bad night at the Toscano household after that.
Wow. All right. So there was another penalty that I remember earlier in the year where you were called for abuse of an official. Please explain that. What happened there?
I got a penalty for diving, and which is beyond me because I would never fall on purpose, even if I was trying to draw a penalty. I'm 6 foot, 200 pounds. It's just not going to happen. So he called me for a dive, and I thought they were getting the penalty for a hook, and I was confused, and I just kept asking the ref what the call was for, and he wouldn't explain to me what I did, and I just started yelling at him, and I was trying to be respectful. I wasn't swearing, and I was trying to keep it in line, but I guess he didn't like it, so.
There's something there that he didn't like. Okay, well, when I hear abuse, I'm thinking that you had somehow threatened his family or something. Well, that's good to know. That didn't happen.
I don't think Alex has done it, but I think it's been done in the league before. So I remember an instance a couple of years ago that was the description on the suspension report. So
Coach Millen, nothing like that ever happened to you in your years? All right, yes. So, what has this junior hockey experience been for you? I guess thinking back, you started with Bismarck, and you had a former Duluth East alumnus there, and so basically, how did that work out for you last year?
I started in Fargo last year, and then I went to Muskegon from there, and then from there I went to Bismarck, and going to Bismarck was a good fit. I had Rapensky there, who's one of my good buddies. I grew up with him, played with him all the way growing up, so that was really nice. And then I got traded here, and it's been a really easy move in. I got to go home and move in with my family. I had Forbert, who's been my best friend since we were barely walking, and all the guys have been great. But it's just been a really good experience the last year and a half to 2 years, getting to know a lot of people from all over the place and playing everywhere. It's just been a lot of fun.
You coming through the East High School program, Mike Randolph was your coach. Did what he taught you help prepare you for this level?
Absolutely. I think what I learned playing at East has had a huge impact on my hockey career the last 2 years, and then the last 5 being there for the 3. And what I think I learned most about playing at East is how to be a team player, and just it's not really about being individual, getting the goal all the time, just doing the little things and being able to pass and accept a pass, and just overall hockey sense. I think I learned a lot of that at East from Mike, and I think it's had a huge impact on my hockey experience and career.
So, as you go through this, do you have any favorite opponents, favorite buildings that you played in here?
Last Saturday, this became one of my favorite buildings. Or was it last Saturday? Or
two Saturdays ago.
Okay.
When it was packed with 2,500 in the stands. That was pretty cool. Bismarck's always a lot of fun to play at. So is Austin's fun. They pack it. I think the coolest place I've been to is Wenatchee.
Okay.
They had a great facility, and I was there with Bismarck last year, and we had about 5,500 at one of the games, and that was pretty cool. Usually has a lot to do with the fans.
Sure.
But I like playing Austin the most. Austin's, yeah, I don't like Austin.
What don't you like about us?
They knocked us out in Game 5 last year. I spent a whole month last year. We played them 8 games in a row, I think. So just a lot of bad blood there, a lot of rivalries.
It had to kill you not being able to play last Wednesday.
Yeah, I was really looking forward to that game.
It's a lot of games in a row for a junior.
Yeah, it was like 8 out of the 10 or 8 in a row or something. And it was just like we go to Austin, they come here, we go there. Things were getting pretty chippy by Game 7 and 8.
I imagine you made some good friends.
Yeah, a few.
So by the time they play Austin again, you're going to have to see if you can get maybe some painkillers or something injected, so you can at least maybe have at least one shift or something.
Yeah, maybe. I mean, I played a football season with a broken hand, but this time it was a little worse. So I don't know about it.
A little bit more extreme on this situation here. All right. Got anything else? Got anything, Josh?
No, I think I speak from the organization. We're happy to have you back in the area, and it's been fun, and we're glad that your experience has been good. You know, living with mom and dad's got to be good. Mom's cooking.
Dad's cooking.
Dad's
too.
cooking. I forget.
Yeah.
Greg's got some good cooking.
Yeah.
And you are, and now you call Cloquet your home rink, which has got to be weird for a Duluth East guy.
I don't know.
A little, no?
We spent 3 years going in there and usually tearing it up anyways, so it wasn't that hard to come back to.
Yeah, but I think that's one thing you learned at East too, is how to win the big games. I mean, you guys were you were a pretty dominant program your 3 years that you were there. A lot of great players that came through, so it's definitely something that translates well into junior hockey. Knowing that and knowing how to play in those games.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, played in a lot of big games, so yeah, I guess I was privileged enough to have that experience, because that's definitely helped.
Thanks, Alex, for joining us.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
And we'll be back to wrap up this first edition of Into the Wilderness. And welcome back to Into the Wilderness, and we are at Carmen's in Cloquet, wrapping up our first show here. First, Josh, what can people expect when they come to Carmen's? What kind of specials do they have?
Well, you know, like Friday nights, or Friday the whole day actually is a big day for them. They have the fish fry. You can get, I think it's cod. You get all you want cod for a good price, and then they do the prime rib on Saturday here. It's a great place to come in the weekend. It's where we come after our games usually. They keep their kitchen open for us. So Carmen and Ryan and Zach, they do a great job for us, and a great supporter of the Wilderness. So we appreciate that greatly.
Awesome. And upcoming promotions for the team.
Well, we got Washington Elementary night on Friday. We've given them a discounted ticket price to come in. Try to really support the schools, give back, but also give them a great night as a family to come out for a great price. So that'll be Friday night, and then Saturday we kind of have a group of things going on. Southgate Pizza, one of our great sponsors, they're sponsoring the night. We have a Girl Scout troop coming in to do a flag ceremony. I'm not 100% sure what a flag ceremony is, but they told me it's supposed to be really cool. So they're going to sing the national anthem and do a flag ceremony. And then we have an Esco Mike team coming in to play during the first intermission. So Saturday is going to be a fun game too as well. We're playing Minot, so it's two first place teams battling it out. And then the final thing is we're going to be blessed with the presence of Commissioner Mark Frankenfeld Friday night. He's going to be in the building to see how our operation go. He tries to get to buildings when he can, and he's coming up to Minnesota for the weekend, be with us on Friday and Austin on Saturday. So it'll be a great weekend. It'll be an awesome weekend for fans to get out and enjoy for sure.
Awesome, yeah. And it is going to be a battle of the Titans. Minot Minotoro's first place in the Central Division. Depending on how things go, you never know. This could be a preview of a Robertson Cup playoff. You don't know. We'll see how everything goes. Also, Fox 21 News is going to be running a special on the Wilderness. That's going to be beginning this weekend. Steph Manacero was traveling with the team, along with a photojournalist, and they were with you guys in Austin.
Yeah.
And so
yeah, they're doing a great part. They approached us probably about a month and a half ago about doing a 3-part series. It's a 3-night. I don't know how long it is each night, but it's supposed to air sometime starting this weekend. And it's really just tracking the life and the day of a Wilderness player, what a junior hockey player does, from moving away from home and living with a host family to what they do in the community, what their activities at the rink are every day, and then they got the best, and it was awesome to make it work out. They got to travel with us on the road and see a pregame meal and see the bus travel and a pregame experience. So
I thought it was all about you. I thought the special was.
we're not supposed to tell people that. I'm just going to surprise everyone. It's where I announce that it's all about me.
Oh, of course.
So they got theme music and everything just like you do.
They do.
Yeah.
All right. Well, it must be the Buddy Holly lookalike connection here.
Absolutely.
So and that, for those of you not in the local area, that you can catch that. I believe they're going to be putting that on fox21online.com.
Yeah, and we're going to try to hope to be able to get it linked into our website as well. We're still working on the schematics of that and how it works, but yeah, we hope to get it on our social media and on our website for sure.
So set your DVR because we hope that you're going to be at the games this weekend so that you can catch that special.
Yeah, they're 9 o'clock news for sure.
Awesome. And also, before our next broadcast here, there'll be another game next Thursday against Cooley Region on February 12th.
Yeah.
And a reminder of our trivia question on Minnesota Wilderness, NAHL through Facebook, and at MN Wilderness through Twitter.
Yeah.
The question is who is the only Wilderness player this season to register a hat trick? So do your homework, and first one with that answer gets 4 tickets to an upcoming Wilderness game. I want to thank everybody for tuning in for our first Into the Wilderness edition. Thanks to Josh Petrich, to Alex Toscano, and the coach, Corey Millen. And thanks for tuning in. Good night.